We're at Wrigley Field tonight. It is a bit cooler, overcast, but we'll be fine tonight weather-wise as the Padres are here. Game 2 of a 4-game series. The Padres lead the National League West. They are streaking, winning 7 of their last 8, including a 9-5 decision last night. The Cubs try to end a 4-game home losing streak. Hi again, everyone. Along with Bob Brenly, I'm Len Casper. 9-5 the final last night as the Padres won the first game of this series. And, Bob, they needed to add a little offense near the trade deadline, and they did with a couple of veterans.
Yeah, not only did they add some offense with Miguel Tejada and Ryan Ludwig, but talking to Bud Black, their manager, before the game today, also great presence in the clubhouse. Both these guys have been through pennant races before. A lot of young players on this Padres team. They felt like they needed some veteran leadership, and they've provided the leadership and the offense.
And Tejada with 4 big hits last night. The Padres have a 4-game lead over the Giants in the West. Let's look at the pitching matchup tonight. For San Diego, it's going to be a former Cubs first-round pick, John Garland.
And you better get him early. John Garland this year has given up a batting average in the high 200s, 280, 290 through the first 3 innings. From the 4th through the 7th, he's held the opponents to under 200. Get him early.
It's been a roller coaster season for Randy Wells. He had a 183 July earned run average, but Bob, in August, almost 8.5.
Yeah, and he's been hit hard. He has not hit his spots as well as he needs to. Randy's not the kind of pitcher that can afford to come down the middle of the plate, and he's been doing that way too often.
So Garland for the Padres, Wells for the Cubs. We saw a lot of offense last night. 14 runs combined between these two teams. Game 2 of a 4-game set is next.
This Golden Opportunity Sales Event, now through September 7th at your Lexus dealer. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Member-owned means our reason for being is your well-being. Experience, wellness, everywhere. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Southwest Airlines. Visit southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on.
You're watching the Cubs and the San Diego Padres on Comcast Sportsnet, presented by Allstate. Fun night tonight. It is Polish Heritage Night here at Wrigley Field. Mo Drabowski, Cubs pitcher way back when, and Cubs bench coach Alan Trammell, a part of the National Polish American Sports Hall of Fame. So is Ed Olczyk, and we'll chat with the Blackhawks television analyst a little bit later on. Ernesto Frieri is the man at the bottom of the big league service time list in the bullpen.
How did you tell?
I could just tell. And fans tonight can purchase a cap by making a donation at a specially marked booth at Gate F inside Wrigley Field. The Cubs cap and the logo there, a commemorative Polish flag Cubs cap And there may be some extras available. You can check it out at Cubs.com after tonight. Those specially marked caps available again inside Wrigley Field here tonight, with proceeds benefiting the Polish American Association. And a performance earlier tonight by Alisma. They're triplets from Poland. They play a mean fiddle. Little Led Zeppelin action.
I like that. Very nice. You know, on most days, Len, it's a little tough to get the bench players and the relief pitchers out into the dugout early before the game, but both teams full attendance this afternoon.
That is right. Now the Padres Southwest starting lineup. We mentioned they have won 7 of their last 8, and they are scoring runs, almost 6 per game over this stretch. Former Cub Jerry Hairston Jr. at the top. Miguel Tejada, big night last night. Gonzalez, Ludwig, Headley go 3-4-5. The catcher Torrealba hitting .305. He's 6th in their order. Will Venable with his first action of the series. Chris Denorfia is in center, and John Garland will bat 9th.
Take a look at the Cubs defense tonight. Soriano, Bird, and Fukudome across the outfield. Ramirez at third. Starlin Castro back in the lineup. Congratulations to Darwin Barney. Got his first major league hit, filling in for Castro at short last night. Blake DeWitt at second. Xavier Nady over at first. Coy Hill once again doing the catching for right-hander Randy Wells. Get a look at his numbers on the season. We talked about it in the open of the show. Randy is a sinker-slider change-up pitcher that needs to work the corners of the plate, keep the ball down. He always works extremely fast out there. He's just had some command issues that have cost him this year dearly.
Ed Hickox will work the plate tonight. Fielding Culbreth at first, Marty Foster at second, and the crew chief is Gary Cedarstrom at third. And we're ready to go. It has cooled off. Overcast skies. Just a few droplets of rain during batting practice, but we're set to go, and we're underway. 1-0 on Jerry Hairston Jr. Line shot, base hit into left. So Hairston got shut out in the game last night. He went 0 for 6. And he starts tonight's game with a solid single.
Middle of the plate sinker that did sink and was up a little bit. Hairston spanks it out to Soriano in left field. These Padres love to run.
Here's Tejada, who had the big night with 4 hits. Tejada's 15 for his last 35. That was with a check on Hairston.
I talked to Bud Black before the game about Tejada and Ludwig, and he couldn't be happier with the 2 additions. He was talking about the playoff experience, the pennant race experience with Ludwig and Tejada, and felt that was very important to add some players of that stature to the roster for the playoff run. Tejada, he said, has just been a welcome addition to that clubhouse. He is constant energy, loud talking, guys having fun. Of course, you can do that when you're winning.
Yep. 2-0 pitch is taken for a strike. You know, that's an excellent point. We are often asked about the clubhouse chemistry. And you often have the question, does chemistry lead to winning or the other way around? And I've always believed winning leads to chemistry. You can joke around and have more fun. It does get a little tighter in a clubhouse when you're not winning. You're not allowed to goof around. We saw Jerry Hairston in the open from last night. Ball that almost popped out of his mitt, and he let his first baseman, Adrian Gonzalez, actually pull it out of his glove. If they were in last place, he probably wouldn't have even done that.
And part of that is just out of respect for your own teammates. And when you're not winning, chances are that some of your teammates are really struggling. And to come in and blare the music and start telling jokes and yucking it up, it shows a lack of respect to the guys who are struggling and trying to get their head above water.
2-2 on Tejada. Key guy in this lineup, batting in front of one of the elite, Adrian Gonzalez. Good lead by Hairston, not running. That's in the dirt. And a full count. 3-2. Goes without saying, the Cubs need a strong start from Randy Wells tonight to help out a bullpen that is really struggling. There goes Hairston. Ball 4. 2 on, nobody out for Gonzalez. Not the way Randy wanted to start it. Facing Gonzalez, their best player, certainly their best offensive player, with 2 on and nobody out. And in fact, Gonzalez and Ludwig, Ryan Ludwig on deck, they have the best batting averages in all of baseball with runners in scoring position, both hitting over 400 in this spot. Caught the outside corner, strike 1.
Man, staggering numbers for Adrian Gonzalez.
Inside on a sinker, 1-1. Took Gonzalez a while to get to this level in his third organization as he hits a fly ball out to Marlon Byrd. Hairston races back, tags up. He'll get to third easily. And they're at the corners with 1 out. Adrian Gonzalez was the #1 overall pick in 2000 by the Florida Marlins. Ended up getting traded to Texas, then to the Padres. And again, he has become one of the best in the business.
Ball hit well out to medium depth center field. Marlon Byrd makes a basket catch. The wind is kind of blowing in from left field right now. May have helped knock that ball down a little bit, but alert base running by Jerry Hairston Jr. Retreat, tag, and advance on to third base.
Room temperature and the wind is coming out of the northwest. So a little left to right action. Here's Ryan Ludwig. 1 hit last night and a sacrifice fly. That was in the 6th inning. Low and inside.
Not a lot of previous experience between these two guys, only 4 at bats, but Ryan Ludwig has had much the better of it, needless to say. A double and 2 home runs in those 4 at bats.
And those previous at bats coming as a member of the Cardinals. And he got hit to load him up. Got him on a 2-0 pitch. Here comes Larry Rothschild to the mound. Bases loaded for Chase Headley.
When you think back to last season with Randy Wells, he was a guy that pitched to contact, tried to get early outs, first or second pitch of an at bat, challenge hitters with that sinker down low in the strike zone. We've seen 2-0 breaking balls in this first inning. Plunks Ludwig with a 2-0 pitch, and also got his catcher there as that ball deflected off of Ludwig.
Yeah, it has been a strange year for Randy. We talked earlier in the year, all the first inning runs. He had a couple of starts in which he just gave up hit after hit after hit. And you talked about almost throwing too many strikes, and there's that fine line. You want them to be quality strikes.
I think a lot of it has to do with confidence. You know, you get banged around real hard like Randy has this year a couple of times, and a guy who has been successful in the past pitching to contact suddenly goes away from what made him good. Trying to nibble a little too much, falling behind in counts, trying to trick opposing hitters instead of just challenging them. And you're right, there's a fine line between throwing strikes and throwing quality strikes.
That word you use, confidence, is one that has been brought up a lot lately with this young bullpen. And quite honestly, it's hard to be confident when you're giving up runs, as the Cubs pen has. That's why this is a big inning right off the bat. And a bouncer to Nady. He is going to underhand to Wells at first. Thought about second base, but realized he didn't have a play on Ludwig. So that's an RBI ground out for Chase Headley. And the Padres are on the board.
Xavier Nady still has some confidence issues with his own throwing arm down there at first base. It appeared he had a play at second that time, but thought better of it, wanted to make sure he got at least one out on the play. And to his credit, Randy Wells was hustling over there to cover the bag. They were able to get the out, but the Padres take an early lead.
Second and third for Torrealba, the catcher. Swing and a miss. 0 for 4 with a walk in the opener. The 0-1 outside. The big question, did Nady have a play on Hairston at the plate? Ball wasn't hit terribly hard, and Nady was not playing in. It would have been a little bit of a risk, and his first thought, as you said, was second. Chop to Aramis Ramirez. Routine play, and that's the inning. Could have been worse. They had him loaded with one out. Wells gave up one run. The Cubs are coming up. Five runs per game over their last 8. Fukudome has been in a good stretch. He's in right leading off. Castro back in the lineup. Marlon Byrd in center. Ramirez at third. Xavier Nady in for Derek Lee, who hopefully can return to the lineup Thursday. Soriano in left. DeWitt, a home run last night. He's at second. And the battery tonight, Hill and Wells.
Quick look at the Padres defensively. Will Venable in left field tonight. Chris Denorfi in center. Ryan Ludwig over in right field. It'll be Headley, Tejada, Hairston Jr., and Gonzalez across the infield. Jorge Torrealba doing the catching for right-hander John Garland. Solid numbers across the board for John Garland this season. Two-seam fastball, a cutter, a slider. We'll throw an occasional curve and change up, but everything works off the two fastballs, the tailing two-seamer and the cutter.
Long and lean, 6'6", 210 pounds, 30 years old, from Valencia, California. And again, the Cubs made him a first-round pick back in 1997. Signed with the Padres as a free agent in the offseason. From Southern Cal, and he's pitched for the Angels, the Dodgers, and now the Padres. Line shot caught by Headley, so Fukudome hit it hard, but for an out.
Kosuke's put together some really good at-bats lately. That time got a pitch out over the plate. Did exactly what you're supposed to do. Go with the pitch. Hit it hard to the opposite field. Unfortunately, right at the Padres' third baseman.
Starlin Castro. Right-handers haven't bothered him at all this year, hitting .322 versus righties. .313 overall on the year. Out of the lineup last night just to get a day. He did pinch hit in the ninth and struck out against Heath Bell. I don't think it would be controversial to say Starlin Castro has probably become the best Cubs player. We've talked about how this has slowly become his team. A lot of energy. Certainly there have been youthful, aggressive mistakes made defensively. And a bit of a work in progress at the plate, but all in all, the Cubs have to be very, very pleased with what he's done here in his rookie campaign. And he's only 20.
What's not to like?
Been durable, battled through some bumps and bruises and some scrapes. And it's a tough year to be a rookie in terms of getting accolades. We'll see Jason Hayward this weekend when the Braves are in. When the season started, I think everybody had written his name in, at least in pencil, for the Rookie of the Year, but he's battled some injuries and a lot of other excellent performances, and it's going to be a pretty good race as Castro takes the one-out walk.
Well, that Rookie of the Year race, we showed you some of the names there. When you really think about it, it's hard to go away from Buster Posey, even though he was probably the rookie that was called up the latest of all those guys we showed you. I mean, he's catching every day for a real good pitching staff in San Francisco as a rookie and carrying that high batting average, driving in a lot of clutch runs, hitting homers. I mean, when you take into consideration everything, where is the team at in the standings? What position does the guy play? What does he contribute on both sides of the ball? And, well, I'll tell you, I was really impressed with Buster Posey out in San Francisco.
One strike on Marlon Byrd, the Cubs All-Star representative. Bob, I was talking to a scout today who said Marlon Byrd's playing like he's going to be a free agent. And that's a great compliment for a guy who has a 3-year deal. You often hear about guys who maybe turn it up a notch when they're playing for a new contract. I don't think it matters to Marlon whether his team is in it, out of it, contract, no contract. He's going to play the same way every day.
I always had a hard time with that idea of turning it up a notch, because that would imply that you're not giving your best every day you're out there on the field. And that's a great way to put Marlon's contributions to this team this year. He plays like his hair's on fire, like he's playing for next year's contract every day he steps on that field. That should be the norm.
Ramirez on deck. Padres got one off Randy Wells in the top of the inning. Throw to first. Castro back on his belly. You said it, Bob. You're going to get to Garland. You got to do it early. He gets better when you get into those middle innings. Can be patient, however. He has walked a lot of guys this season and has already walked one tonight. There's a ground ball to third. Headley will throw to second. They'll only get one. Hairston able to not only keep the ball, but keep his foot on the bag, according to the second base umpire, Marty Foster.
A stumble by Headley down there at third base before initiating that attempted double play, and that threw the entire timing of the play off. From our Coors Light RoboCam, little topper down the line at third. Headley lost his balance momentarily, but nice athletic play by Jerry Hairston to get the force at second.
Ramirez pops it up, shallow right. Ryan Ludwig to end the inning. Early on after one, Padres 1, Cubs nothing.
Certified authentic dirt from Wrigley Field, courtesy of Cubs Steiner Collectibles.
1-0 San Diego. Second inning, Will Venable, son of Bob's former teammate, Max Venable. 2-0 the count. Well, you've always watched his career pretty closely, and pretty neat, isn't it, when you go back and remember young Will Venable. And here he is in the big leagues.
I've got pictures at home of Will when he was just a baby.
Sure, he'd be embarrassed if you posted them on your Facebook page.
If I had a Facebook page, yeah. Oh, yeah, I could embarrass him.
Oh,
really
you have,
bad.
I'm sure, several Facebook pages, just none of them are run by you.
Yeah.
Fair ball past Nady. Venable runs very well, and he'll easily make second base. Keeping a close watch on Fukudome, who gets it back in without incident. On this Tuesday, August 17th, we look around baseball. The Nationals did come to terms with the #1 overall pick, Bryce Harper, who signed for just under $10 million. White Sox and Twins tonight in Minnesota. The Twins with a 3-game lead over the White Sox. And sad news, Bobby Thompson, 86 years old, passed away last night. Former Chicago Cub and most famous for his home run for the New York Giants. The shot heard round the world. Game 3 of the playoff against Brooklyn. A couple of interesting notes on that home run. He hit it to left field. Andy Pafko was playing left for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Andy, our good friend, the former Cub. A few years later, they would be teammates in Milwaukee with the Braves. And Bobby Thompson was supposed to be the starting left fielder in 1954 for the Braves. But he broke his ankle in spring training. So guess who ended up being the opening day left fielder? Hank Aaron, as a 20-year-old. And that started his major league career.
I did not know that.
So you could say that Hank Aaron replaced Bobby Thompson.
Had a chance to meet Bobby Thompson in my time out in San Francisco. What a true gentleman.
Key names from the shot heard around the world. Ralph Branca was the pitcher, and Russ Hodges had maybe the most famous call in baseball history. The Giants win the pennant. The Giants win the pennant. Swing and a miss. DeNorfie is out. And that'll bring up the pitcher, John Garland.
Good slider that time from Randy Wells. That's one of those give the appearance of a strike pitches. Slider on the outer third of the plate. Looks like it's going to catch a corner, and then just dive bombs low and away.
Garland hitting 200. To borrow your line, anybody with a bat in their hands is dangerous. We found that out last night. Kevin Correa ended up having the go-ahead and ultimate game-winning RBI. The Padres took a lead on his RBI double in the 5th and did not trail. The other thing is the Padres have scored in their last 6 innings in this series. The 5th through the 9th last night and the 1st inning tonight. The 1-1. Driven deep to left. Soriano back on it. Makes a catch on the warning track. Venable back to second. Boy, that ball was shot out of a cannon. And Soriano was able to flag it down. John Garland hit it very well.
What a nice play by Alfonso Soriano out there in left field. A sinker up around belt high. Soriano got a great jump. Ran straight back toward the ivy, had to reach up and extend at the last instant. Caught that ball in the very webbing of his glove. What a nice play.
Swing and a miss.
I'll tell you what, Len, Alfonso Soriano is probably never going to win a Gold Glove in left field, but the improvements that he's made this season have been remarkable. You could argue that he's the most improved defensive player on the field. He works very hard every day out here with Ivan DeJesus, taking fungos over his head to his right, to his left, coming in. And the hop is gone. We're all happy for that.
There's Ivan, the Cubs' first base coach. That's a foul behind Glenn Hoffman, who didn't blink. Longtime third base coach. His eyes have been focused on Will Venable since that leadoff double.
You see that little sign he just gave to Will Venable at second base. That's just a reminder that with 2 outs in the inning and 2 strikes on the hitter, as soon as you see that batter start his swing, you start running. He's on the swing. He's either going to swing and miss and the inning's over. He's going to swing and foul it off, in which case no harm, no foul, or he's going to put it in play. And that's when that big jump at second base becomes important with 2 outs.
Only the second time Wells has faced the Padres. He suffered a 3-1 loss in San Diego last year on May 23rd, but he pitched well, 7 innings, 3 runs. Quite honestly, this is not the same team that he faced. Adrian Gonzalez would have been in that lineup, Chase Headley, and that might be it. The 2-2. Count holding on Hairston. We'll have to get a new bat.
You talk about crossing up a defense. If Jerry Hairston hits the ball to the right side of the field, it catches everybody by surprise. He's hitting in that leadoff spot. I don't know if he's a prototypical leadoff hitter because he basically is a dead pull hitter.
Jerry has hit leadoff more than any other Padre. This is his 45th start in that leadoff spot. Roller foul to the pull side. That's more like it.
We were talking about it last night in his days with the Cubs. That was my lasting memory of Jerry Hairston hitting bullets foul down that third baseline.
Setting up shop off that inside corner, and Wells hit the target, but Hairston laid off it. 3-2. Big time energy player, versatile, play just about anywhere, infield and outfield. And he drives that ball deep to left center. Marlon Byrd will get to the spot. That ball was hit hard but had a lot of air underneath, and that gave Byrd time to go get it. They hit the ball hard throughout the inning, but don't score. 1,000 fans get a Cubs lapel pin, compliments of Bank of America. Xavier Nady, Alfonso Soriano, and Blake DeWitt against the veteran right-hander John Garland. Comes in with 11 wins. He's gotten to double digits in wins every year since 2002. Called strike. Quickly 0-2. Garland was an all-star in 05 with the White Sox. Got him from the Cubs back in 1998 for right-hander Matt Karchner. Won 18 for the White Sox in 05, 18 again in 06. His first win was in 2000. It was against Milwaukee. He was doused with beer, but he was only 20 years old. Of course, the reporters had to ask him about it. He said, "I didn't drink any." Pop up off of third. Not a lot of room for Headley. He bounces about 4 rows back. Matt Anderson threw like 100, didn't he?
Yeah, he was a fireballer.
Blake Loss, we'll see him this weekend with the Braves. Jason Grilli has dealt with a lot of arm injuries in his career. Vernon Wells to the Blue Jays. Michael Kadire. Of those 10, only 1 did not make it to the majors. Two on Nady. You're wondering which one did not make it. It was Jeff Gota or Geta, a 6th pick by the New York Mets. Well, that's a killer when your first round pick, a top 10 pick at that, doesn't make it at all. Sure, we could look up his signing bonus. I'm sure it was rather significant as Nady takes the leadoff walk after an 0-2 start.
When you think of all the advantages that major league teams have nowadays with the internet, travel is much easier. It's kind of hard for a guy to slip underneath the radar nowadays compared to back in the day that we were showing you right there. It was tough to find guys, and once you found them, everybody else was on your tail scouting them as well.
And it's through. Tejada playing a little bit up the middle, had a long way to range toward the hole, and Soriano has a single. 2 on, nobody out.
Right down there where he likes it, below the kneecaps. Hard topspin grounder through that left side, and you're absolutely right. Tejada was cheating up the middle just a little bit, hoping for that double play at second base, and that positioning cost him that time.
Blake DeWitt's done a nice job at the plate since coming over from the Dodgers. Homered last night. The Cubs within 2.
I don't think Blake DeWitt's the kind of guy that's ever going to hit 25 or 30 home runs in a season, but he has surprising power. When he gets a count in his favor or a pitcher makes a mistake up and out over the plate, he can put a charge into it.
Could be a double play. And it is. A 6-4-3. So Nady's at third, but there are two down.
Our Coors Light RoboCam. Two hopper right to Tejada at shortstop. The only question was whether Soriano could get there quickly enough to disrupt the relay throw to first, but unfortunately he could not.
So it's up to Coy Hill with the pitcher Wells on deck. Coy hitless last night to snap a 7-game hitting streak. Takes a strike. Padres staff is interesting in that John Garland was their opening day starter, so almost by definition you'd call him their ace, and he's had a good year. I think you would mention his name among the elite #1 starters in the league, but top to bottom you can't argue with what the Padres have done. The question is, when you get to the postseason and John Garland has to match up potentially with an Adam Wainwright or somebody like that, Tim Lincecum, a Roy Halladay, will it be enough? I would equate this staff, Bob, a little bit to the Braves. Derek Lowe was their opening day starter, but I'm not sure he's their best pitcher. I think Matt Latos here with San Diego could make that case, and I think Lowe got the nod more because of his veteran status than anything else. But Tim Hudson, Tommy Hanson, Jair Jurgens, they've got a really good staff. I guess once the season starts, there really is no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You just pitch when you're told to pitch.
Whoever takes the ball that day is your ace. Go get him.
Tim Hudson's 14-5 with a 2.13. They'll get together and chat about this 3-2 pitch to Coy Hill as we are right at dusk.
Well, then we can't control the mail. I got this note a day late. Happy belated birthday to Paul Kalin from your girlfriend Susan. His birthday was August 16th, so we apologize, Paul, but we hope you had a great day yesterday and a better day tonight.
So happy 50th to Dan Adams from Lombard here in the ballpark tonight. I guess he can't hear us, but if you know him, you tell him Lennon Bob said happy birthday. Coy Hill went around, and that's a strikeout to end the inning. 2 on, nobody out. The double play ball helped Garland get out of it. 1-0 San Diego. After every game. Get behind-the-scenes access and in-depth analysis from CSN Cubs insider Patrick Mooney. Visit csnchicago.com, your internet home for everything Cubs. Miguel Tejada dribbles it foul. We're underway in the third. 1-0 San Diego. I have to say the most dangerous part of their lineup here coming up. Tejada, Gonzalez, and Ludwig, the veterans. He's back out of play and to the upper deck. 0-2. Pods come in 23 games over 500. They came in with the Expos in 1969. So they have been around for over 4 decades, and only 2 other seasons have they been 23 over at any point. 1984 when they went to the World Series, and 1998 when they went to the World Series. I guess that bodes well for Bud Black's team. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Change up down low and away from Tejada, a guy that's very anxious to swing that bat up there. Get him with some off-speed pitches if you put him in a good location.
Outside corner for strike 1. Just me, or has first base become the best offensive position in this league? It's not always the case. Sometimes it'll be a corner outfielder. Gonzalez went around. Adrian Gonzalez, Joey Votto, Albert Pujols. There's 3 of them right there.
Ryan Howard.
Yeah. Over the American League, Miguel Cabrera, MVP candidate.
He's fielder in Milwaukee.
Kicked up on Ramirez, but he fielded it cleanly.
The thing about a logjam at first base, and just specifically talking about the All-Star game, if you've got a glut of outfielders that are having good years, you can take a lot of them, and if a guy's a left fielder, you might play him in right field in the All-Star game. If he's a right fielder, you may have to slide him over into center field for the All-Star game. But if you're a first baseman, especially a left-handed throwing first baseman, you're stuck. There's nowhere to go.
Yeah, great point. I'll tell you, you look at the leaders in on-base plus slugging. Just a very simple number. Major league wide, Miguel Cabrera leads the majors. Josh Hamilton second, but then a bunch of first basemen. Long throw, and they get Ludwig. Joey Votto, Albert Pujols, Kevin Youkilis, Paul Konerko on that list. A lot of the first basemen. It's 1-0 Padres midway in the third. convention will take place at the Hilton Chicago January 14th, 15th, and 16th, 2011. Rooms are available now by calling the Hilton Chicago 312-922-4400 and asking for the Cubs convention rate. Weekend passes will go on sale in early November. For more information, visit Cubs.com. Randy Wells takes it low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. And smacked back through the box for a base hit. A nice piece of hitting by Randy Wells.
If he'd have done more of that when he was a catcher, he probably never would have been a pitcher. Smoked that ball right back up the middle of the field. Good start to the inning.
Pitch to Fukudome. Back to Garland. Waits a beat for Tejada to get the second. And they turn the double play.
That rally ended quickly. Fukudome took a sinker away from him, grounded it right back to the mound. Like to see just a tad more patience in that situation. I know if you get a base hit on the first pitch, nobody says a word, but I mentioned earlier, Garland likes that cut fastball in on the lefties, and we know Fukudome can pull a pitch from the middle of the plate in. He had a big hole on the right side of the infield. Unfortunately, chased a pitcher's pitch on the first pitch of the sequence.
Castro bunted it foul. By the way, just to finish up our first base discussion, if you look around baseball in each different position, it is instructive. First basemen have to hit. The highest on base percentage and slugging belong to first baseman. Collectively, they've gotten on base at a .353 clip and have slugged .457 around the majors. The highest batting average actually belongs to right field at .271. Pitchers, by the way, if you're wondering, what do you think the collective batting average of all pitchers in 3,804 at bats this season would be?
About $150.
144. DHs 247. Wow. Collectively.
I mean, the very title says you're supposed to be a hitter. The designated hitter.
You see, it's been a struggle, and most of those at bats belonging to Derek Lee. First baseman with 554 home runs. No other position has more than 469. And it's the only position that has seen over 2,000 RBIs. So that's an offensive spot. And when you don't get a lot of production out of that spot, what it means is you have to make up for it somewhere else. I'm a firm believer, and I know a lot of the new stats, Bob, they're comparative stats. And what I mean by that is you're comparing each position to what the league average is. And if you add it all up around the diamond, and you have a lot of guys who are above average, you're probably going to have a very good offensive year. But if you don't, and it goes the other way, and I think you go back to 2008, we could easily look it up. I think the Cubs were above average at most positions, and that's why they led the league in runs.
Yep.
And it's also why when Alfonso Soriano is hitting, his defense and sometimes his defensive problems are not as big an issue for this reason. Left field's basically the worst defensive position on the field. So when you compare him to other left fielders, that's the biggest comparison you should make, not comparing him to the Gold Glovers. Compare him to other left fielders. And as you said, he's improved a lot. Castro hustling, safe. He beat it out for an infield hit. There's that hustle from Starlin Castro. So he's been on both times.
That's that off-balance swing where you get fooled by the pitch just a little bit. Starlin gets out in front, but he's kind of leaning out of the batter's box as he makes contact. Tejada got rid of it quickly with a strong throw, but just too much speed from the 20-year-old, legging it out for an infield hit. He can smell it. That'll be. And look at his foot all over the middle of that base. That's one thing you'd like to see all the Cubs base runners get a little better at. Hit that front edge of the base. I mean, the half of a foot sometimes makes the difference between safe and out at first base. And when you land on the middle of the bag, you're running about 6 inches further than you need to get to the base. Hit that very front edge of the base.
1-0 on Marlon Byrd. Cubs trail 1-0 here in the third inning. Check on Castro.
Now, when you're sprinting down that first baseline, you can see he's hitting the front of the base with his heel. And he's great. You know, he's safe, granted. No problem there. But on those bang-bang plays at first base, if you can come down with your toe on that front edge of the bag, you're going to get more calls from the umpire when it is a bang-bang play.
He was doubled up, but I saw Blake DeWitt go down the line in his second inning at bat, and he did exactly what you talk about all the time. He didn't slide, number one, but he seemed to be accelerating, almost leaning into the bag when he got to first. And it was a nice turn by the Padres. Swing and a miss.
Well, that's the mental picture you have to have in your mind as a runner as you're going down that first baseline. I'm not just running to first base, I'm running through first base. If you can, in your mind, picture that bag is 5 or 10 feet further down the line, and that's your ultimate goal, you'll be much quicker running through the base at first base.
Two and one on Marlon Byrd. Well, let's look at Blake DeWitt, Bob. We have a look from high home. We'll see him right at the end here. And again, he is thrown out. But just watch how he's accelerating. He's leaning in. I mean, didn't move his head. Wasn't looking at the play. All he cared about was beating that throw to first base.
And a former teammate, Chili Davis, who went on to have a tremendous career, one of the best switch hitters to ever play the game. And Chili was tremendous at getting his upper body leaning forward at first base. It gives the illusion that you're closer to or actually on the bag when you're not quite there yet. I mean, we always come back to Olympic sprinters. You don't see Olympic sprinters standing straight up when they get to that tape. They're leaning forward.
They don't dive head first either.
And they don't dive head first.
Well, that's right. You don't have to be as fast as an Olympic sprinter, but you should act like one if you're trying to get there as quickly as possible. Try to emulate them. Ball four. Walks have been an issue for Garland this season. Third highest walks per 9 at over 4 in the National League.
Pitching here in the bottom of the third. So far, he's walked one batter in each inning.
The Cubs have had 6 base runners here in the first 3. And they've hit into 2 double plays. throw to second. Castro back. The longest throw for catcher.
That's a tough pickoff when the batter doesn't swing and miss at the pitch or give that runner at second base a reason to take an extra step or two. This pitch is obviously out of the strike zone. Ramirez was taking all the way. Really no reason for Starlin Castro to get out past his secondary lead, and he was able to get back easily.
Bob, as a catcher in that spot, or are you almost hoping for a slip? Like a runner to panic and just lose his footing, and at that point you get him.
Yeah, but most of the time, as you said, that's a long throw. Plenty of time for the runner to read it, unless you get him out there in no man's land. And usually, as I said, that comes after a swing and a miss. Or a bunt attempt, and the guy bunts through the ball. That's when you can get a runner out there a couple of steps further than he should be. But on a routine take at home plate, most runners should be able to get back to the bag easily on that pickoff attempt.
A 3-0 taken for a strike. It was not center cut, but caught enough of the plate, according to Ed Hickox. Wind has really died down. Pennant flags out in center, not doing much. The only one blowing right now is Old Glory atop the flagpole. Foul tip, strike two. See, Ramos asking Ed Hickox if that was a strike.
Garland has made the best pitches to Aramis Ramirez behind in the count, 3-0 and 3-1. Two fastballs at the knees on the outside corner.
Runners go. Fly ball right field. Ryan Ludwig puts it in his pocket, and that's the inning. Still 1-0 San Diego. We've completed 3. A strike on Chase Headley. We're underway in the 4th. Padres with a first inning run. It is held up so far. Headley much better left-handed than right-handed this season. 1-2. Headley hits a ground ball and looks back at Ed Hickox saying, I want time, buddy.
A similar thing happened to Kosuke on that last road trip. Requested time. The umpire does not have to grant you time if he feels that pitcher is far enough into his delivery. He raised a hand, asked for timeout, realized he wasn't going to get it, jumped back into batter's box and put the ball in play.
Black up on the top step. Swing and a miss by Torrealba.
You know, the funny thing about that situation, Len, is when it happens to a hitter, they almost always swing at the pitch. I mean, unless you have 2 strikes and you're in that situation, there's no reason to offer, even if it's a pitch right down the middle.
And there were 2 strikes in that spot. So it's almost like a panic move.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get the feeling that's going to bother him the rest of the night. He does have the go-ahead RBI, but is 0 for 2. The other thing that tends to happen, I could see Chase Headley getting ejected on a called 3rd strike later in the game, but having nothing to do with that strike call. He's just looking to go off on Ed Hickox at this point.
May happen tonight, may not happen for a few weeks until they get Ed Hickox behind the plate again.
Yeah, even better point.
Personally, I like that rule. It was designed to protect the pitcher so that the pitcher doesn't look up in the middle of his delivery and see the batter stepping out of the box, the umpire's calling time, and you have to try to stop your arm. That's when guys can potentially injure themselves out there on the mound. That was the reason that the umpires were instructed not necessarily to grant timeout on every request.
Torrealba's screaming at Ed Hickox, but he didn't even make the call. He put his head down, thought it was ball 4. Fielding Culbreth on appeal said he swung at it. Tough inning for Ed Hickox. This one wasn't even his fault.
And Torrealba did go, even though he's shaking his head no, running down the first baseline.
Going, what? Fielding Culbreth yelling at him, Yorvik, I made the call. Oh, okay. So now he's mad. What's Will Venable going to get upset about? Two and one. Venable led off the second with a double. Never did get the third. Inside 3-1.
Kind of an odd note here, Landon. We've talked about this in the past. Will Venable, all Ivy League in both baseball and basketball. Only the second player to ever do that in the Ivy League. The other is a teammate of his, Chris Young.
He's currently on the disabled list. Three and two on Venable. Cristinorfia on deck. Good speed at the bottom of their lineup. Ball 4. All right, Bob, you got a 50-50 chance to get this one right. AT&T trivia time. True or false? We always like those three words. There has never been a 20-year-old to win a batting title in the seniors circuit. That would be the National League.
Let me get my lucky coin out here. say false.
Then I'll have to go with true.
We have to believe Venable's going to be on the move sometime very early in the sequence here to Chris DeNorfia. Venable with 22 stolen bases in 25 attempts this year. Good quick pitch that time by Randy Wells. He didn't allow Venable to time his delivery to home plate. A couple of tosses over to first and then came set and quickly delivered the ball home before Venable could really get out there to his maximum lead.
12 days ago at the Dodgers, Chris DeNorfia hit an inside the park home run. The third the Padres have had this season. Tony Gwynn has the other two. We'll see what Venable has done. He's perfect going from second to third. 86% stealing second is very good. Cubs pitch out. He was not running. 1-1. This time he goes. And he's in.
And most base stealers are going to be really aggressive after a pitch out. Not very many managers will pitch out on back-to-back pitches for fear of putting their pitcher in a hole to the guy at the plate. So after a number of throws to first base and a pitch out, Venable figured now's the time to go, and he got a great jump.
The 3-1 on DeNorfia, swing and a miss. I would have thought he was going to get a fastball, and he did not. DeNorfia tripled last night, knocked in 2, scored twice. A 3-for-5 evening. Bounce back to Wells. He will flip to Nady. 2-out walk and a steal, but no runs. Bottom 4, Nady will lead it off for the Cubs, who trail 1-0. Been a 20-year-old to win a batting title in the senior circuit. I said false, I said true. The answer is true. There have been 2, but both in the American League. Ty Cobb In 1907, Al Kaline, both with the Tigers. Kaline did it in 1955. Starlin Castro possibly could be the first National League player to do it at age 20, and if he does it, he will be the youngest ever. The youngest National League batting champ, Pete Reeser, was 22 years old in 195 days. The 1941 Brooklyn Dodgers, he had 343. Garland against Nady, who walked his first time up. He's leading off for the second time tonight. High fly. Ludwig just does not have room. Ball landed just to the right of that ledge and in the stands.
I'd say of all the visiting right fielders that come in here to Wrigley, Ludwig plays that wall better than anybody else. He's played enough game here as a member of the Cardinals. He knows exactly how much room he's got. We saw him last night make a fine running catch. He's even blowing bubbles while he's chasing it.
Garland coming back on an 0-1. Fly ball center field. This one slicing away in the gap. DeNorfia will pick it up, and Nady has a double. Right off the bat, I thought DeNorfia had a pretty good chance to catch it, but it had a lot of slice. Like one of your drives.
Yeah, it looked like all of my drives. High fastball. Outside corner of the plate, and Nady went with it. You can see that ball slicing in midair away from the center fielder. Cash one in here. Another good start to the inning.
Well, cash one in is right. Cubs have had plenty of chances. For 3 with runners in scoring position. Slider for a strike. Soriano. This is where he's supposed to get really stingy. Well, that worked out. It's not where Soriano wanted to hit it. He had a pull swing, and the ball went the other way. So the tying run is at third with 1 out. Maybe he meant to do that. Who knows?
Well, the result was good anyway. I'll tell you another good result was back in the second inning. Our All-State good hands play. Alfonso Soriano robbing John Garland of extra bases, also keeping the Padres from adding another run. Tremendous running catch right near the vines in left field.
Left side of the infield is in. They're in maybe a couple of steps over on the right. Now Jerry Hairston Jr. looking in the dugout. They're telling him to come in even more. Against Blake DeWitt, who pops it up. But it's going to possibly get down. No! A diving catch. Nady went about a third of the way down the line as Will Venable, streaking in, made a diving play. It was pretty apparent that Tejada was not going to get to it as he was playing in on the dirt. Look at that run by Venable.
He's only about 15 or 20 feet off of the infield dirt when he makes that diving catch. A couple of great plays by the respective left fielders in this game, both saving runs. That brings up a good point. Now, we talk about speed in the game all the time, and when you talk about speed, usually you go right to stolen bases. I tell you, speed shows up everywhere on the baseball field. Obviously running the bases, but hey, if William Venable doesn't run the way he does, the Cubs have tied this game up. Even a little thing like backing up plays. Ground ball hit to the left side of the infield. The second baseman sprinting over into foul territory behind first base just in case there's an overthrow. Left fielder backing up third base on a ball hitting the right field corner. Yeah, that speed is invaluable in this game.
Coy Hill has seen 2 changeups already in this at bat, and that time frozen on a fastball. An 8-pitch inning for Garland. He got into trouble, but got out of it. Got a lot of help from his left fielder.
$5 footlong subs from Subway.
Great job as always by the Menards grounds crew, manicuring the infield dirt between the 4th and the 5th. She has her eye red and eye blue on.
Got some eye red from time to time.
Natural variety.
Yes.
1 strike to John Garland. Now, do we assume Bryce Harper is going to continue to wear the eye black the way he does, covering about half of his face?
I don't know. It's
kind of a trademark, isn't it?
Yeah, something he did in his college days, but we all did a lot of stupid things in college that we changed when we got into professional baseball. We'll see.
How do you really feel about it?
I think that's another one of those things, Len, where if you told the guys, hey, listen, we want you to take the eye black and put it the width of your eyes all the way over onto your nose and drag it clear down to your jawline. Well, no, I'm not going to do that. That's stupid.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Want to see a Cubs game from the front row at Wrigley Field? Now you can visit Cubs.com. Click on the CBOE front row seats auction to bid on tickets in the front row behind home plate and along the first base line. Front row seats will be auctioned off to every game all season long. Don't miss your chance. Go to Cubs.com. Check out the CBOE front row seats auction today. Gary Hairston Jr. apparently has something in his eye. And you need to be able to see to hit.
It helps.
Called strike. How about this one? Bill Lee, the spaceman, right? He has signed a contract with the Brockton Rocks of the independent Can-Am League. A 63-year-old left-hander. He is going to start the final game of their season September 5th against the Worcester Tornadoes. Apparently he still throws over 200 innings a season in over 40 men's leagues up in New England and in Canada. Pitched for the Red Sox, Montreal. This is what we were alluding to, Bryce Harper with that eye black. Either that, or he tried to paint on a mustache and missed.
He just came from a Kiss concert. We're talking about old timers making a comeback. Jose Canseco, not quite as old as Bill Lee, but hit a home run to left center field in his first at bat in the United League Baseball, the Rio Grande Valley White Wings. How about that?
I missed that game.
Yeah.
I think I've got a TiVo.
He was a pinch hitter with a runner at second base and 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th, and gave his team a 15-6 lead at the time.
What did Warren Cromartie do in that game? Did he play? Any other former big leaguers in that league?
I don't see any on this list right here, but doesn't mean there isn't. Right.
Two down.
Jim Bouton had the great quote. He says, "All these years I thought I had the grip on the baseball when it turns out it was the other way around." Some guys just can't get it out of their system.
I think he could be the 5th member of Kiss.
Might be tough to run the bases in platform boots.
Nicknamed Dr. Love. 1-0 on Tejada. He dunks it into right for a base hit. 5th of the series.
Normally you don't get overly concerned with a 2-out base hit, but with the left-handed hitting Adrian Gonzalez at the plate, it opens up that right side of the infield. And with that in mind, I would expect Randy Wells to try to work him away. If he does come in, it would just be a show-me pitch, try to push him off the plate and then go right back away again.
Gonzalez pops it up and see if Ramirez has room. Took a look, and he does have room right near the railing. That'll end the inning. Gonzalez is 0 for 3. We're halfway home. A tight one. Very low scoring. 1-0 San Diego. Gail, thanks. It's 1-0 San Diego. The Cubs have had opportunities tonight. In fact, they've had opportunities early on last night and see if they can finally get to John Garland. Randy Wells with a base hit his first time up, and Randy's pitched better than as of late.
Yeah, that first inning he was a little shaky with his command, but started to hit his spots much better, found a good release point, and has a good slider tonight. He's got to find a way to score him some runs.
Wells has lost 3 consecutive decisions. Battling hard with John Garland as he pops it up. Gonzalez in foul ground. Let's check in on the Cubs minor league report on this Tuesday. Jeff Samardzija last night got his 10th win for AAA Iowa. 3 homers for the I-Cubs. They were the first PCL team to get to 70 wins. Brandon Guyer with a 17-game hitting streak. Evan Crawford acquired from San Francisco in the Mike Fontenot deal with 2 hits for Daytona. And Bob, I want to mention Jae-Hoon Ha, right fielder for Peoria. 2 days ago became the first Peoria Chief to hit for the cycle in 11 years. So congrats to Jae-Hoon Ha. Daytona's got to get it going.
Yeah.
3 in a row to Tampa.
Got rained out tonight, but they dropped 2 games behind the Tampa Yankees for the second half crown.
Only a few weeks to go in the minor league season. Two strikes on Kosuke Fukudome. Downing ball to Miguel Tejada. Got rid of it quickly. I want to go back to talking about the Padre rotation. We've talked about this before. I don't like, and I think there are a lot of people who don't like all the off days in the postseason. I think MLB decided to get rid of one off day in the middle of the playoffs, but I think it hurts a team potentially if the Padres win their division. They have great depth, and while they may not have the star power at the top of their rotation, if you force a team to have to go to 4 starters in a series, I think it benefits a team like the Padres.
Well, I think the players would rather do with fewer off days in the postseason as well. You play all season long, 162 games, sometimes 20 days in a row. Yeah, maybe an off day scattered in every second or third week, and then all of a sudden you get to the playoffs and you've got all these off days for travel and workout days and what have you, and it's not the same routine that players are used to during the regular season.
You've got different roster rules in September, and then you have a ton of rest in October when the games mean the most. Joe Girardi only had to use 3 starters last year in the postseason. They were good ones. Sabathia, Pettit, and Burnett. Can't blame him for doing what he did. Two and two on Starlin Castro, whose walk in the first inning was his first in exactly 2 weeks and his second since July 3rd. So while he has hit for a high average, it's been basically how he's gotten on base, by hitting his way on.
Garland has a definite idea of what he wants to throw here, and so far Torrealba hasn't hung the right sign for it.
Right to Headley. And the throw is dug out by Gonzalez. A 1-2-3 for Garland. Through 5, he's shutting out the Cubs tonight. 1-0 Padres. Night presented by Dex. Coming up tonight after Sylvania Cubs postgame live, we'll hear from Brian Urlacher at Bears camp. And where was the Stanley Cup today? Join Mark and Pat for Sports Night presented by Dex tonight after postgame live, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. What's up at Coy Hill?
I think we have a mid issue here. Looked like a lace on the webbing of his glove came loose.
That is a problem.
Oh, boy. I'll tell you, if you've never tried to relace a glove, especially a catcher's mitt, in the middle of a ball game, it's a lot of fun. It's like putting a puzzle together. Okay, it goes in this hole, and then where does it come out? Okay, it comes out over here, and then it goes back in, and then it comes back out, and winds around. I wouldn't recommend letting a pitcher relace your glove. They have trouble tying their shoes. Usually there's somebody on every staff, whether it be a clubhouse attendant or maybe one of the trainers or the video guy, somebody that has the equipment and is very adept at patching those gloves back together in a hurry.
Huge foul by Ludwig. Martin Prado off the DL for Atlanta and playing third base. He has knocked in a couple tonight. 8-2 Braves over the Nationals in Atlanta. We'll see the Braves this weekend. Left-hander Mike Minor scheduled to start on Sunday. 6 innings, 2 runs tonight. 3 balls and a strike on Ludwig. The Phillies tonight starting a stretch of 24 games over the next 23 days. They lead the Giants 8-3. In the bottom of the 8th, they got Chase Utley off the DL. Activated tonight, batting second. He's 0 for 4, but Placido Polanco is 4 for 4. Roy Oswald's been better than Barry Zito tonight. Bouncer up the middle. Castro coming in. Ball kicked right up his arm for an error, and Ludwig is on.
And last bounce came up a little higher than Castro was anticipating. Hit him up on the heel of the glove, and then just climbed right up the left arm, hit him in the chest, and then Ludwig had reached easily.
Low for ball 1 to Headley. 18th error for Starlin Castro.
Well, and I don't think there's any doubt as his career moves forward that Castro is going to use better judgment on some plays because of the experience he's had this year. But I think he's still going to be a shortstop that makes a lot of errors. He's going to get to balls that most shortstops don't get to. Whether it be in the hole or up the middle of the field or charging slow rollers, he gets to a lot of balls and has the ability to make plays that many shortstops just stick the ball in their pocket and concede an infield base hit.
Cubs have now committed a major league high 95 errors on the year. Runner goes, it's a hit and run. Headley way out in front as he rockets it foul into the seats. And he's been very good tonight, but he's trailing. Cubs have not scored a run against the Padres starters. Kevin Correa 6 shutout innings last night, and John Garland has gotten through 5 without a run tonight. Florida close to ending a 4-game skid, leading at Pittsburgh 6-0 in the bottom of the ninth. Light rain. Haven't seen anybody run for cover yet. That's a good sign. Unless those were bugs. Three and two. Houston 3, Mets 2, bottom 6. Now they've just gone to the top of the 7th. Hunter Pence with his 17th in that one. Ludwig takes off on a 3-2, and that one rolled foul. Milwaukee 3, St. Louis 1. They're in the 6th. I don't think those guys are catching bugs. I'm guessing they're raindrops. Casey McGee with a homer for Milwaukee, his 19th. Albert Pujols with his 31st for the Cardinals. They lost 2 of 3 over the weekend to the Cubs, and they're trailing again tonight. Cincinnati beginning a 3-city West Coast trip. It's a big one. Arizona, Dodgers, Giants. They're just underway, 0-0 in AZ. Bronson Arroyo and Daniel Hudson. Ball 4. I thought the Reds were going to win this division. Then after the Cardinals swept Cincinnati last week, I thought, oh, well, the Cardinals will just pull away. And now the Reds have a 1-game lead. This is a good test for them. It's never easy to win out west. And they'll be on the road for the next week and a half. Their next home series will be against the Cubs.
I'm sure Dusty Baker imparted to his team the importance of not looking past the Arizona Diamondbacks either. The first 3 games of that West Coast swing. Diamondbacks having a real rough year, but when you look past any team, that's when you get in trouble.
In AL Final, Seattle shut out the Orioles in Baltimore 4-0. Kevin Millwood with the loss is now 2-13. 8 innings, 1 run. Enjoy that one, Kevin.
Yeah.
Man, that's tough. 8 innings, 1 run. You lose your 13th game. Ouch. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Marcos Mateo up for the Cubs. CC Sabathia pitching well tonight as the Yankees lead Detroit 6-2, bottom 7. How about 2 here? Castro, DeWitt. Nady kept his toe on the bag. It's a double play. With Castro moving to his right, that made it a difficult turn, but you had Torrealba running, and they were just able to turn it.
That's a play Starlin Castro makes as well as any shortstop in the league right now, when he has to get to that ball and get rid of it quickly. And Nady definitely came off the bag, but it was after he had the ball in his glove. That was a really good call down there at first base by Field and Colbert. It looked like Nady had been pulled off the bag, but the ball's in his glove, his foot's on the base. That's a good call.
And a good slide and stop by Coy Hill. When you get that double play ball, you don't want to all of a sudden give up that run on a wild pitch or a pass ball. Ludwig at third, and a 1-0 count on Venable. Make it 1-1. Boston shutting out the Angels 6-0 there in the ninth at Fenway. Tampa Bay leading Texas 5-0 at home. They're tied with the Yankees atop the East, and both teams are winning. Minnesota 5, the White Sox 4 in the 6th. Twins got 4 in the 1st. The White Sox came back with 3 in the 2nd. Paul Konerko with his 30th home run. Venable strikes out. Randy Wells gets out of it and keeps it a 1-0 deficit. Action, call 1-800-XFINITY today. 1-0 San Diego. Been that way since the top of the first. The starting pitchers have had to escape some jams tonight, some key double play balls. And all 3 have been turned. It's Marlon Byrd to lead off the Cubs 6th. Tejada got him by half a step.
Hey fans, text CAMP to BHawks. That's 242957 to join Blackhawks Mobile and be entered to win a VIP training camp festival experience on September 18th. That's CAMP to 242957 for 2 free tickets, VIP seating during the Blackhawks scrimmage, and a player meet and greet.
Eddie O coming up, conducting the stretch tonight. Stop it right there. Sorry, that was my Eddie Olczyk. He's the best in terms of hockey analysts. One and two on Ramirez. So are these mild temperatures just a respite? We'll be back in the 90s soon, or is this a sign of things to come? I like fall, but I'd rather have it start in mid-September. I love this temperature. I just don't want it to be 50 degrees in 2 weeks.
Yeah, snowing during the playoffs.
Yeah. It's been great.
Well, the last couple of days here at Wrigley have been absolutely ideal.
Fair ball backhanded by Headley. Throw off the bag, and Gonzalez able to touch his toe on the base before Ramirez got there.
One thing that impressed the Padres about Chase Headley, they moved him around a little bit defensively, but no matter what he was doing at the plate, he always brought his glove. A strong defender down there at third base as Gonzalez is able to beat Ramirez to the bag after the wide throw.
Fouled away by Nady. Cubs were able to get 5 runs against the Padre bullpen last night. But that has been the exception, not the rule this season. So you'd hate to get into that bullpen trailing. They've had their opportunities tonight against the starter Garland. Cubs have also had to do it without Derek Lee, who was so hot. 4 homers in that series in St. Louis. That was a quick 1-2-3. Once again, Garland seems to be getting stronger as the night has gone on. Still 1-zip odds. In Chicago, as well as Rosemont and Lombard, Harry Carey's houses some of the most distinctive party spaces around. We'll make your event a home run. Call 773 Holy Cow or visit HarryCarey'sRestaurant.com. Top of the 7th. Chris Denorfia just off the corner, ball 1. Strikeout and a ground out. Ramirez guarding against a bunt. Justin Berg is up under the watchful eye of Lester Strode, the Cubs bullpen coach. On his last road trip in San Francisco, Lester, 3.5 hours before a game, former minor league pitcher, got up on the bullpen mound and started throwing some pitches as the entire bullpen was standing behind him, heckling him. It looked pretty good. Bob, I would call him a soft-tossing lefty at this point in his career.
All right. Yeah. He knows how to use his strengths.
Punched in the air to right, Fukudome with an easy play.
It's kind of an odd phenomenon in the game of baseball, Len. Former pitchers usually throw the worst batting practice. And catchers are the guys that usually throw the best. I think it's just because of the differing deliveries. Pitchers are used to using that real long arm stroke and really trying to get extension. And when you're throwing from behind an L screen, it's hard to do. But catchers are used to that real short delivery, put the ball right up on their ear, quick, short arm throw.
I often watch BP and I think it would be fun to pitch batting practice, and then I see a rocket get hit right back at the screen. And I think, you know what? More fun being behind the cage.
Yeah, and in batting practice, if you're not aware, the coaches usually throw from right around 45 feet. They set up a little mini ramp of a mound about halfway, maybe 2/3 of the way between the mound and home plate, put the L screen up in front. The idea being it's a little easier to throw strikes if you're not all the way back on the mound. Now, some coaches get carried away. They scoot that screen up a little closer and a little closer to the cage, and pretty soon they're throwing from about 30 feet away. But all you're trying to do is simulate the game speed that players are going to see when they get in there during the game.
Strikeout number 6 for Wells. Probably be it for him. His spot due up 4th in the last of the 7th. And the pitch count probably going to get him.
Well, if it indeed is his last inning, he has really turned it around tonight. He's pitched an outstanding ball game. A little shaky in that first inning, but has really settled in since.
Sudden Sean Marshall cranking it up just in case. That ball's going to hold up for Soriano. Here comes Eddie O with the stretch.
Today's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game is Blackhawk TV analyst Eddie Olczyk.
All right, Cub fans. All right, Blackhawk fans.
Eddie Olczyk.
Let me hear ya. All right, Gary. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back, for it's root for the Cubs.
Hall of Fame, Eddie O.
Hey,
How are
Len.
you, Eddie?
Bob,
Very
great to see you, boys. Great to see you
Great
guys.
to hear your voice again.
I don't know about that, but third time was the charm. I had the Old Czech choir in behind me. I had my 4 kids here, Eddie, Tommy, Alexandra, and Nicholas. But right before school starts, they came in, and they were helping me a little bit.
Well, congratulations on an amazing season. And you got to call all the action locally and nationally. And what a run it was for the Chicago Blackhawks, the Stanley Cup champions.
Yeah, it was a great thrill to see this team come from where it's been over the last handful of years, and it's well documented since 1961, since the team won. And a lot of belief had to go through it, Bob, as you know. You got to get a little bit of a taste of it. They got it 2 years ago, losing to Detroit in the Western Conference Finals, and then last year taking it to another level. And it was just an amazing run, and the city and everything that went with it. It was just, it couldn't be any prouder being a Chicagoan and also being a former Blackhawk. And when you tie that all in and being able to be a part of that and seeing that goal go in Philadelphia by Patrick Kane was something real special.
1-2 on Soriano, 1-0 San Diego. The Padres scored in the first inning. That has been it to this point in terms of what we do as broadcasters. Here in 2010, you got to call the Olympics, gold medal game, Stanley Cup champion. I mean, you got to do everything and MC the big rally downtown. That's a great year right there.
It is. Very lucky, very honored and privileged to be in those positions. And when you get a chance, Bob, you can speak to this, when you get to work with the best sitting next to you as far as a play-by-play man. I get a chance to work with the great Pat Foley, the voice of Blackhawk hockey. Nationally, to get a chance to work with Doc Emmerich makes my job awfully easy. And to get a chance to be an MC at the rally, John McDonough and Jay Blanc allowing me that privilege. It was a greend thrill, and the city did an unbelievable job. That happened to be my last goal I ever scored in the NHL right there.
Yeah,
All right.
There. Backhand. It's a lost start, just like punting, right, Bob? Hey, how's your boy doing?
He's doing well.
Oh,
Thanks for asking.
I'm keeping a close eye on him. You guys know I watch all the time, so I wish your boy nothing but the best.
Well, thank you very much.
Brought back a lot of. Where do we get the color? That's what I want to know.
It's
Computer generated.
Oh yeah, right. Enhanced, about 30 pounds lighter, and I don't need the shoe polish anymore on the top of the head like I used to. Right?
You've done it all as a player, a coach, and one of the voices of the Blackhawks. That'll be unassisted by Gonzalez.
Can I ask Bob a question?
You can ask whatever you want, Eddie.
Bob,
it's your show.
Yeah, right. Especially with Colvin and Castro, what could they take the biggest thing from coming this year and getting their chance to play every day in the offseason and then going into next year? What's the one thing besides the experience? Is there one thing with an everyday player that they can take moving in next year?
I think the biggest thing for both of those guys, and we've seen it from Starlin Castro, not so much from Tyler Colvin, is making adjustments. I don't know how it is in hockey, but in baseball, if you have a weakness, opposing teams are going to go at it until you show you can close that hole in your swing. And Starlin Castro, as I said, has done a nice job of it. Tyler Colvin's still working on it.
I love those two guys.
And,
you guys keep up the great work.
Eddie, always a pleasure. Sorry we had a quick inning here, but we can't wait to hear
Keep
you
up
and
the good
Pat
work,
here
man.
on
We love you
Comcast
guys.
Sports.
Okay, man.
Eddie
Thanks a
Olczyk, 1-0 Padres. Sean Marshall in after Randy Wells gave up 1 run on 3 hits in 7 innings. But the best he can hope for now is a no decision.
Even though he's on the short end of the 1-0 score, a very encouraging outing for Randy Wells tonight. Really settled in, looked like Randy Wells of last season, pounding that sinker on the corners, mixing in the slider and the straight changeup.
Well, we're huge fans of Eddie Olczyk, but I got to tell you, he knows how to work a booth. He leads you right in. You know, Bob, as you know, and I thought he was going to compliment you, working with one of the best. So he brought it right back to me. That's the way we like it. He read it right off the card.
Yeah. And picked up the check on the way out.
The 1-0 to Tejada is a strike. 1-1. Only 7 hits combined in this game. And in fact, the only run scored on a ground out by Chase Headley in the first.
Right-hander Mike Adams cranking it up down in the Padres bullpen.
2-2. Cubs have done a nice job of protecting Sean Marshall and Carlos Marmol. It'll be very tempting to use these guys every single night. They have carried a pretty big load, especially now with a lot of youth around them.
It would have been a lot tougher task to protect those two if the Cubs had been winning more often, because that's when Marshall and Marmol are in the ball games, when the Cubs have a lead late or a tie game late.
Tejada grounds to Castro. I also think, Bob, almost by definition, if the Cubs had been winning more games, somebody else would have stepped up and probably helped carry a bigger load along with them. Well, Angel Guzman and John Graybo going into spring training, those were guys who were going to eat up a lot of innings in big pressure spots, but Guzman out for the year with the shoulder, and then Graybo had an injury-plagued season. Cubs have really been searching for somebody else to grab one of those spots since. Gonzalez could not check up. Castro again. Sean Marshall. Hold category. It's gone way up this season. He's pitched more consistently in an 8th inning role. We're working with Bloomberg Sports to provide some of the most in-depth and compelling data analysis baseball has ever seen. Fans can get their own set of these new state-of-the-art tools from Bloomberg. Built for fun and for fantasy play. Go to BloombergSports.com to get a preview and find out all the details. Sometimes see those 10, 11 pitch at bats. It's to a 2-2 or 3-2 count. The batter just keeps fouling them off, fouling them off, fouling them off. Well, one way to deal with that would be to do what Reds pitcher Bill Phillips did on this date in 1900. He punched Roy Thomas of the Phillies after Thomas fouled off 12 pitches in the 8th inning. Phillips got ejected, but the Reds won in extras.
Not that we encourage that.
We don't encourage that, but it did happen.
I know a lot of fans listening out there as youngsters played baseball in the backyard or down at the corner lot, wherever it may be, and those guys have fouled off pitches. Man, everybody hated that. You have to go chase it. You only had one baseball.
Yep.
You get some clown that would, hit it in Mrs. Johnson's backyard. Well, you got to go climb the fence and get it. And then finally get the ball back to the mound, get back in the batter's box, and then he'd foul off another one in Miss McGillicuddy's yard.
I remember playing hardball at Ben Stevens' house, and I hit a high foul ball right through the bedroom window.
Of course.
Yeah, it happens.
People don't realize that glass is like a magnet to a baseball.
Castro for the third time in the inning. 6-3, 6-3, 6-3. Sounds like a tennis match here in the 8th inning. 1-0 Padres.
Take two right now.
Yeah, that's all you need. Tyler Colvin will bat for Sean Marshall. You were all over the big note for John Garland. Gets better as the game goes on, especially in the 4th and later. Garland in the first 3 innings averaged 19 pitches per inning, 57 pitches. In his final 4 innings, he averaged under 9 per inning, 35 pitches in the 4th through the 7th. So that really did hold up. And the biggest number is he didn't give up a run in any of those innings.
Now, stats only tell you what has happened in the past. They don't always necessarily predict what's going to happen on a given night. But in John Garland's case, he held true to form tonight. And that can be said for most good pitchers around Major League Baseball. If you allow them an opportunity to go out there and settle in on that mound, find their release point, start hitting the corners, getting the movement on their pitches, they're going to carve you up. Get them before they get comfortable.
We haven't seen a ton of Tyler Colvin lately. A couple of reasons why. As he gets ready for a 2-1. Kosuke Fukudome has had a really good second half, and Lou has said more than one time, whoever hits plays. But with Colvin struggling a little bit, Lou said today there are two ways to handle it. Either let him fight his way out of it or give him a little time off. And he has decided to give him a little bit of a mental break. So he will get back in there soon. And it might not necessarily be in right. We know he can play all three spots. Ground ball fair. Picked up by Gonzalez. It's 3 unassisted, 1 out.
Sign up for a subscription to Vineline, the official monthly magazine of the Chicago Cubs. Vineline offers exclusive insider coverage and photography all year long. Visit the Vineline blog at Cubs.com for extra content and order today.
Kosuke looking for his first hit in this one. He had 3 last night. In case you're wondering, tomorrow is a day game, not the final game of the series, but a 1:20 first pitch. And we'll have coverage here on Comcast Sportsnet starting at 12:30. Pre-game live, and then Bob and I take over at 1. Clayton Richard, a left-hander for San Diego, and Casey Coleman will get his first major league start for the Cubs.
The home fans will get their first look at Wellington Castillo, the young catcher that figures to be behind the plate tomorrow for Casey Coleman. They've worked together at the AAA level at Iowa, and Lou wants to try to make Casey as comfortable as possible. And also, Coy's going to need a day off from time to time. Day game after a night game seems to make a lot of sense to get Castillo in there tomorrow.
Not all the catchers will be off. You'll be working.
Yeah, but not as hard as they will.
Foul. Torrealba picked it up. It was foul, according to Ed Hickox.
Now, many times you'll see catchers try to get their body into fair territory to try to sway the umpire, but the determining factor is where is the ball when it's touched. It doesn't matter where your body is. From our Coors Light RoboCam, you'll see Torrealba comes out and tries to get into fair territory. The ball clearly foul, and home plate umpire Ed Hickox right on top of it.
There's Wellington Castillo. Doubled in his first career at bat in San Francisco. Same spot as that last pitch. Now it's 3-2. Starlin Castro will hit next. This has been a common theme for the Cubs all year. Close, tight, tension-filled games. Over half of their games, 52%, have been decided by 1 or 2 runs. And the Cubs have gone 23-39 in those contests.
And there's probably a lot of different ways to explain that, but the two things that jump out to me immediately, lack of solid fundamental play and poor defense. In those close games, when you give the other team more than 3 outs in an inning, give them opportunities to get more hitters to the plate, that's when bad things tend to happen.
All 5 of those teams at 500 or worse. The Mets at 59 and 59. Fukudome at first. The pitch to Castro. Bounced into right field. Fukudome rounding the bag. He's going to test Ryan Ludwig. The throw to third is late. That's key. He is at third with only one out.
A dangerous go right there by Kosuke Fukudome. Ludwig has a very strong, accurate arm out there in right field, and I didn't think Kosuke was going to go initially, but he got to second base, turned the corner, and just kept on motoring into third base. One last peek over his shoulder. He turns on the jets and slides hard into third base. Headley had trouble handling the throw.
Another spot. Runner at third, less than 2 outs. As Marlon Byrd tries to at least tie it up. Ground ball right to Tejada, 6-4-3. And the 8th inning is over. To the 9th, 1-0 Padres. Live on air. Don't miss Sylvania Cubs postgame live, as Eddie Olczyk would say, immediately following the game right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Carlos Marmol trying to keep this game 1-0 to the bottom of the 9th. And the Cubs will have to get it done against Heath Bell.
2 strikeouts away from 100 on the season for Carlos Marmol in only 54 2/3 innings pitched. That is remarkable.
On Sunday in St. Louis, his career best 22 consecutive games with at least one strikeout streak ended. Did get the save. That's the key. Headley balloons into left. Soriano the grab.
Tickets are available now for Cubs games in August and September, including the next 2 games against these Padres and games throughout September. Bleacher seats are still available as well. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office.
That's Heath Bell, one of the best in the business, as he worked a 1-2-3 ninth last night in a non-save situation. Good slider, 1-1. Got some finals. Yankees won 6-2 over Detroit. Boston shut out the Angels 6-0. Tampa Bay leading 10-1 in the ninth. Twins still lead the White Sox in the 8-5-4. Some games of note in the National League. Atlanta crushed Washington 10-2. Houston edged the Mets 4-3. St. Louis still trailing the Brewers 3-1 at home in the 8th. And Arizona 2-0 over Cincinnati in the 4th. Kelly Johnson, a 2-run homer off Bronson Arroyo in the 1st. And Chase Field. Ball 4 to send Torey Alba to first. So the Phillies did beat the Giants 9-3. The final score. Runner goes, called strike. Torey Alba is going to get in. He's going to head to third. Already with a career high in stolen bases. And for Torey Alba, that is his 6th. So an error on Coy Hill on the throw.
Not sure if that was a missed hit and run sign or Torey Alba just had the straight steal. He didn't get a real good jump off first base, but unfortunately Coy's throw got past Castro into center field, allowing Torey Alba to end up at third base.
Cubs have to bring their infield into the edge of the grass. 2 strikes to Venable. He struck him out swinging. Starting a new strikeout streak tonight. 2 away.
Number 99 on the season for Carlos Marmol. Came on a slider. That's no surprise.
That Stairs is going to hit for Chris Denorfia. He has tied the Major League record for pinch hit home runs. Tied with Cliff Johnson. 20 pinch hit home runs. Last night in the pinch, he walked and scored in the ninth. 1-1. When he homered at Seattle on May 22nd, he tied Todd Zeal's record, hitting a home run for his 11th different team. One of those teams includes the Cubs.
That's a lot of duffel bags.
Jerseys. He should probably dedicate a room in his house, just hang up all the different jerseys he has worn in his 18-year career. Going to need to be a big room. And he went around for strike 3. So Marmol digs his way out of it. Keeps it a 1-0 game as we go to the bottom of the ninth. Last chance now for the Cubs. Pitcher spot is now 8 in their lineup and occupied by Heath Bell, the major league leader in saves with 35 on the year. He's only blown 3 chances. .22 in a row. The longest such save streak by a Padre not named Trevor Hoffman. He faces Aramis Ramirez as we start the bottom of the ninth. Fastball inside. You hear the term max effort. I don't know if Heath Bell is one, but he just looks like a max effort guy. Doesn't have the smoothest delivery in the world, but sometimes you add a little deception.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, he's got good stuff. His fastball in the low to mid 90s.
A flare shot out into right, and it's going to drop for a hit.
You have to think about running for Aramis Ramirez right here. Looks like Darwin Barney's on his way out of that third base dugout. That's the tying run, possibly down there at first base. Bell with another 93-mile-an-hour fastball right in on the knuckles of Aramis Ramirez. Just flared it out there into shallow right field. Get him on, get him over, get him in.
Curveball missing.
We're talking about Bell's delivery. His fastball sits in the low to mid 90s, has a good breaking pitch to go along with it, but he does have some deception in that delivery. Not a lot of movement on his fastball, but hitters just don't seem to pick him up well. Got away with a hanger right there. Good rip by Xavier Nady on a slider that stayed up around belt high. Just spinning up there saying, hit me.
Can guys get fooled by mistakes? And what I mean by that, against certain guys, are you just not expecting them to hang pitches? I mean, the classic that was so bad it's good. Does that happen a lot?
It happens a lot more than you might realize. And a lot of times what happens is exactly what we saw from Xavier Nady. He recognized a high breaking pitch out over the plate where he could really get his arms extended and just missed it, fouled it straight back. That's what happens a lot of times on those mistake pitches because you're just not expecting it.
Swing and a miss. Strike three. A little extra juice on that heater at 95. Hey, Cub fans, this season it's easier than ever to find the seats you want or sell tickets to the games you can't make on StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Chicago Cubs. You'll find great seats and great service on StubHub all season. So go to StubHub.com. Choose your seats today. Swing and a miss by Soriano. Cubs have not lost a game 1-0 since June 16th, 2007, when they were beaten by the Padres and Heath Bell got the victory. So it's been a while. And that was here at Wrigley Field. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Kick the 1-2. Pop foul out of play. Let's go back to the first inning. The only run of the night on a bases loaded ground out by Chase Headley.
I still think it was the right play on the part of Xavier Nady. You want to avoid the big inning early in the ball game. He took a look at second base, thought about trying to turn two, decided just to take the sure out. No way of knowing that that was going to be the only run scored in the ball game up to this point.
Well, ready for another 1-2, and he blows away Soriano. 2 down. When in doubt, he's going to go with that fastball, and he's gotten both Nady and Soriano on swinging strikeouts.
Yeah, for a big burly power pitcher, he locates pretty well. You saw him with Ramirez push him off the plate with the first fastball, then went away and then back in. With Soriano, went up the ladder, got him to chase a high fastball before painting that outside corner. He's not just a thrower. He's got a pretty good idea of what he's doing with his stuff out there on the mound.
Blake DeWitt, outside ball one. Darwin Barney, the pinch runner for Aramis Ramirez, has been at first base through 2 batters. deep to right. Ryan Ludwig back. And he has just enough room right up against the wall to end the game. Heartbreak for the Cubs. Blake DeWitt just missed winning this game. And the Padres hang on 1-0. No panic on the part of Ryan Ludwig. As you say, he plays this right field as well as any visiting player in baseball. And just a little leap at the end to catch it right up against the vines.
I thought Blake DeWitt was going to go deep again to right field. Got a cement mixer slider down and in. And once again, blowing a bubble while he makes the game-saving catch out there right up against the ivy. Oh, man.
Bell excited as he picks up his 36th save on the year. A very tough loss for Randy Wells, his 4th consecutive defeat. And the Padres have won the first 2 games of this series. The GMC player of the game, John Garland, worked out of some jams tonight. Did not give up a run over 7 shutout innings.
Really impressive, especially after that early part of the ball game where he struggled with his own command, walked 1 batter in each of the first 3 innings, but really settled in and put zeros on the board from that point forward.
That'll do it for our game coverage. Stay tuned for Sylvania Post-Game Live. The final score tonight, the Padres 1, the Cubs 0. Our next Cubs telecast right back here tomorrow. Pre-game live at 12:30. Again, Bob and I hit the air at 1 on CSN+. Casey Coleman, his first Major League start. Left-hander Clayton Richard will go for the Padres. In-game scoring provided by ScorePad. And now for Bob and our entire Comcast Sportsnet crew, Len Casper sending it over to Mark and Pat in our downtown Chicago studios.